Hello again. There is a crisis at the top with both main parties locked in civil war, and a bitter civil war. The government is barely able to function despite the machinery of the state remaining intact. The Tory contenders, Theresa May and Andrea Leadsom, resembling two rabid weasels in a sack. 150,000 dinosaurs will be deciding the future for the next 4 years. But the bitterest contest, by far, is for the leadership of the Labour Party, an entity that looks on the point of disintegration. It's going to be a long, drawn-out drama. Ironically, whoever assumes the tattered reins will be powerless to win the next general election, as the electorate, who bother to vote, continue to move firmly to the right, thus resulting in what is effectively a one-party electoral state. Not that this means anything to the deluded middle-class activistas flocking to the utterly discredited Labour Party. There have been mass demonstrations in support of Corbyn, not only in London but in places as diverse as Liverpool and Exeter. Here in the East End, over 1,000 turned up for a pro-Corbyn rally organised by Momentum. These manifestations are one-day wonders, A to B demos. The beguiled jammed into Parliament Square, passive, the Trotskyites amongst them fantasizing about participating in some sort of pre-revolutionary scenario. So, after holding some s.w.p. placards, chanting, no arrests, no confrontation, and certainly no violence, they trundle off, deluding themselves they've achieved something tangible. But exactly what have they joined and signed up to? The Labour Party, the party of war, austerity light, the party whose ex-leader has been damned as a war criminal, despite having been virtually whitewashed by the Chilcot report. Blair is still swaggering around, increasing his swollen property portfolio and bank balance. Compare this to a Black Bloc kid in prison for trashing a bank or squatting. It's the Labour Party itself that's responsible for the Iraq War and bloody aftermath. Blair didn't do this single-handedly. The entire party that people are now flooding into was responsible. It's bizarre, to say the least, watching a personality cult evolving around Corbyn, the cult of a reluctant personality. These almost 500,000 self-deluded new members are all wasting their time and energy. If only 1/100th of these people woke up and did something useful rather than pimping for the Labour Party. For example, get involved or create a movement that seized property to put a roof over the heads of thousands of street homeless, provide support, reach out to the dispossessed working class and defend occupied property against repossession. Something us anarchists should be doing if we had the numbers. But until a genuine movement bursts onto the political scene, this is hardly on the agenda. Momentum, the People's Assemblies, the radical left assemblies are top-down creations, no more the building blocks of a spontaneous mass revolutionary movement than the Women's Institute or the Police Federation. As I said previously, they are merely pimps for the reactionary zombie Labour Party. These hundreds of thousands of new members will only be used for, ultimately, canvassing, mainly for right-wing MPs and councillors if they remain in the party. All a waste of time, as traditional Labour voters will be increasingly casting ballots for a breakaway group or a reinvigorated UKIP. Nothing apart from full-scale insurrection and revolution will sweep away the one-party electoral state. There has been demonstrations on the streets unrelated to the Labour fiasco. Black Lives Matter have been taken to the streets, but yet again in quintessentially English fashion to protest about events in the USA rather than here. One other matter. I find it strange that these Corbynistas haven't uttered one single word about getting rid of the monarchy, aristocracy, or the House of Lords. One can only conclude the whole thing is nothing but a pose. But the creaking, rotting contradictions of society remain and grow by the day. And sooner or later, let it be sooner, the whole lot will blow apart. And we'll certainly recognise it when it finally does, because we'll be part of it. Bye.